Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Trump and Canada's election. Prior to Trump's rhetoric about making Canada the 51st state, the Conservatives in Canada were almost guaranteed a victory. Now, the latest polling suggests the Liberals will win. Some of the polling suggests a Liberal landslide, but most suggest they'll need a coalition with smaller parties. Either way, the polling suggests a situation that would lead to Mark Carney remaining Prime Minister. Mark Carney is the economist we've talked about a few times. He's the one that ran the Bank of Canada and then the Bank of England. The irony of that being that Trump's rhetoric likely led to Canada uniting behind a world-renowned economist who is most qualified and most likely to outplay him in a trade war. Almost as if Trump doesn't understand how his statements drive reactions in other countries. He continued to say things that would inadvertently boost his most capable opposition. In an interview published shortly before the Canadian election, he talked about making Canada the 51st state, something that is overwhelmingly opposed by Canadians and would likely result in conflict. He said, quote, "I'm really not trolling." Then he went on to say, quote, "We're taking care of their military. We're taking care of every aspect of their lives, and we don't need them to make cars for us. In fact, we don't want them to make cars for us. We don't need their lumber. We don't need their energy. We don't need anything from Canada. And I say the only way this thing really works is for Canada to become a state." It's worth remembering that it has been working a long time without Canada as part of the United States. Trump's bizarre fascination with adding to the United States via Greenland or Canada has led many to wonder what the motivation really is. Some suggest it's due to climate change considerations, as the areas he seems interested in are likely to be more resilient to the climate crisis. Others suggest he's hoping to have a legacy other than economically devastated Trump towns. Regardless of Trump's motivations, his effect on Canada's elections are real. If things play out as expected, Mark Carney will end up Prime Minister. Carney is expected to use a broad economic strategy to counter Trump's trade war. The expectation is that he'll find new markets for Canadian exports and help facilitate imports from other countries that would traditionally come from the United States. Each time one of these supply chains shifts, it applies more pressure to Trump, because they're unlikely to shift back if and when the trade war ends. We'll keep you updated once the election happens on April 28th. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.